So I'm pretty excited for this episode, man. I feel like we walk in a lot of the same groups and kind of have the same, I don't know, a way of life in certain parts. But I'm just excited to have Steve-O on. What's up, dude?
Just chilling, man. We're getting ready for a pretty big stunt tomorrow. Is there a video component to this podcast?
Yeah,
Cool,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
Yeah, dude. I got my studio van decked out. Like, oh shoot, what did I do there? Decked out with a full multi-cam media truck operation going on over here. It's pretty high level stuff going down. Yeah.
So right on. So yeah, I want to touch base with you real quick. I don't think like we ever really crossed paths to get to do really anything together, but I know we did had kind of the same groups that did certain events with Action Sports. You know,
Sure.
I did Viva La Bam there, and I think that was kind of past you guys when you're done with the Jackass thing. You're already on your own thing, but so right now you're working on something called Gnarly. Is that what you got going?
Well, yeah, I already shot Gnarly, and I'm super stoked on it, man. It's I distribute it on my website. That's the place to see it. It's steve-o.com. And it's like a stand-up comedy special, but it's multimedia. So I've got like everything I'm talking about the whole time. Like you're seeing the footage of the stories happening. Which is a really exciting thing that I came up with. At first, it just occurred to me, like, man, the stories I'm telling in this act are things that like all happened on camera. So what if I cut in all the footage? And I was stoked on how well that worked. And so then I just went nuts filming new stuff to pilot. So like each bit in the show inspired some crazy new stunt that I did. And I was just super happy with it. I got the whole Jackass gang together for it. Super cool.
What are some of the worst like injuries that you sustained there? Like I saw your countdown.
You know, like I was a little self-conscious putting that together that like, man, people would expect my injuries to be worse, you know, but I suppose they were pretty bad. You know, the number 10, I went in the order of like bad to worse. And the 10th worst one was when I jumped off the roof of the house into a hot tub. And I really, busted up my on that. And then there's been like surgery on hematoma on my leg. It was pretty mellow. I like, I burnt the skin off of half my face one time. I fractured my skull jumping off, throwing myself off a balcony. I had a fractured vertebrae shooting a stunt for Jackass. And it sucked because it only went in the credits, but yeah. And then I had the burns, which was something that I filmed for the Gnarly comedy special on steve-o.com. I got crazy 3rd-degree burns like all over, and I had to get skin grafts on 15% of my body, and that was the most horrific pain. Like apparently anybody who's been shot or stabbed will tell you that burns are way the most painful out of anything.
Yeah, so was that the one where you fell off like the wire onto the frying pan, basically onto the
No. That one was mellow. That was only the 9th worst stunt injury.
Okay.
The number one was where I blew up my living room with me in it, and dude, it was all bad. it was all bad, dude.
Yeah, so because like I said, I broke a lot of bones, but like I had one time crashed and a dirt bike laid on my back, and the pipe melted into my back, and And I remember that was probably the worst injury out of all the broken bones. I'm like that when my skin was just, you can't sleep. Everything
Oh, I
burns.
get it. A dirt bike. Okay. Yeah, shoot, man. What, like the exhaust tube or something was like,
Yeah.
is that what gets real hot?
Yeah. The exhaust got is super hot. And I was racing a motocross race, and I fell in the mud, and the bike flipped up on my back, and I was stuck in the mud. I couldn't get up, and the bike was just burning into my back.
Man, yeah, burns are the worst, dude. Burns are the worst.
So one thing I think is cool now that a lot of the OG guys that were the badasses in the 80s and 90s are now getting older, families and kids, whatever, they're growing up and doing their different things, but like still being able to keep it cool. Like you saying you're coming out with a signature model board, right? And
Yeah.
like it's sick because you should still be respected from all the gnarly you did back in the day and still do, right? There's a respect factor for that. Like I always respect, Tony Hawk for what he did.
Well, I mean, dude, he's still getting so rad, dude. And every time I see Tony Hawk pull off some new trick, like I feel like that tells me, I just he sets the bar, man. And when we were kids in the 80s, there was no such thing as a rock star that was like over 30 years old, I mean, where maybe the Rolling Stones like turned 40 in the 80s. Did they? Like, yeah, they probably turned like 40 in the 80s, and that was like crazy, Yeah. There was no precedent for like aging rock stars, and there was definitely no precedent for like athletes in their 50s, Yeah. And I mean, I guess we've seen like NFL quarterbacks in their 40s. We've seen people fighting, in their 40s. Mm-hmm. But now, like, Tony Hawk's killing it in his 50s. Mike Tyson's coming back boxing in his 50s, like the ceiling's just getting higher, the bar's like getting way higher.
I mean, I don't even know how to put it into words, but I feel like there's a new transition with these older, like iconic dudes who were badasses in the 80s and 90s that are still reinventing themselves today and becoming even more popular, so I feel like through social media and everything, I'm definitely, in my 40s, way more popular than I was back when I was hitting, in X Games, know, I don't know. And for me, I went the vibe from, I'm surprised I'm still alive, today. And it went from that as a younger guy that really didn't think I was going to live to the time I was 30 or 40.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah, right. And then now I'm a dad of 3 kids. And I said, you know what? I'm going to be a dad, been married for a long time. And I said, I'm going to take that serious because that's my focus now. And my daughter's going to NASCAR. My son's, the best in the world at his age of moto. And my youngest son's just wild. He doesn't know what he wants to do yet, but he's wild. And he's just real, like, he's not scared, put it that way. So I'm proud of him for that. He's like crazy on the trampoline, flipping us. So anyway, my point is raising this next generation of badasses. And I've become almost more popular being a father than I was ever X Games guy, which I'm cool with that, because the thing is you just keep reinventing yourself, and I feel like that's kind of what's, I don't know how to put it into words, but like, I think it's cool to be in your 40s now. Like, you're not kind of a dork anymore to be in 40s or 50s, maybe.
Yeah, man,
or maybe I'm
I guess, man. Do you find that like your podcast, like really, I think people get to know you on a podcast pretty well, and then like really like, a podcast fan is a more like, I don't know, engaged, more connected, like more into it. For and sure. So I'm stoked. I finally jumped on the podcast bandwagon. I got actually, because I'm doing this stunt tomorrow, we're not even worrying about a podcast or any video uploads this week. We're just worrying about this stunt, but it would be episode 20 of my podcast. It's called Steve-O's Wild Ride.
Yeah.